Thank you. Here, you made it again here with the It's My Money lady, Patrina Dixon, and I'm with Mr. Andre Hatchett. Hi, Andre.
Patrina, how are you, ma'am? Thank you for having me. Honored to be here. Shout out to Annalisa for connecting us, and I heard great things about you.
Yes, Annalisa is dope. I'm so glad to be working with her. So before we jump right in, I just want to remind you, drop down in that, hit that subscribe button. And if you're listening to us, make sure you subscribe there and share it, like it, leave us comments. We want to know what you think about the show. Also, if you need to manage your money, you know that I have a money management course. So that link is going to be below, as well as the courses you'll hear about today from Mr. Hatchett. Those will be down in the show notes as well. We are here to provide you with ways to help you live a better life. So make sure you check out what we have going on. And with that, oh my gosh. So you are going to drop the gems on, what did I hear? Like 2,000 to 4,000 a month people can make with Notary Republic. Is that what it is?
$2,000 to $12,000.
Well, okay. Let me reset with, like they say, the room. 2,000 to 12,000 a month. Right? Mm-hmm. I think I'm in the wrong business. Listen, I gotta take notes too. This is great. So let's just get started, because some people think notary is what it I think once was, where you live locally, you're buying a home and you go over there and you hit the stamp on there. I know that you teach people to do it across the globe, teaching it. How can they earn that much in a month? People are not even buying, there's not even that many homes sold in a month in a certain location. Talk to us about how that happens.
Yeah, so what I started doing in 2004, 2005, really long time ago, was becoming a mobile notary. That's where I would travel to people's locations, notarize their documents, and it could be loan closings, it could be wills, power of attorneys, timeshare closings, affidavits, and a bunch of other things, right? And we charge a premium. Low end $80, $60, higher end $250 and upwards per appointment. Now our ideal clientele, our clientele are people who are willing to pay for convenience rather than to go find their own notary and to be inconvenienced. And that's how we make those kind of dollars. People pay us to make their lives simple, and they pay us well, and they paid me for a long time.
So now, like, talk to me about how they find you, because I'm just thinking about when I bought both of my houses, I get set up with a mortgage loan officer, etc. And then they're like suggesting where I go to get whatever I need notarized. How do they find you versus somebody that would be referred during that process?
Okay, so with the same process with you when you bought your property, congratulations on that, by the way, on acquiring those assets. What they should have done was make your life easier, and they would have booked somebody like us to come to meet you. So ideally, they would ask you what time you want to meet. Do you want to meet at your home or a coffee shop or wherever? We arrange all the payments with the title company or the law firm, whoever you were dealing with. And then we would just show up with the paperwork to you, and we would sign it, notarize it, probably there for half an hour, 45 minutes. Then we would go scan the documents back to the company if need be, and or FedEx or UPS the documents out to the client.
Okay. So now in the midst of COVID, so you talked about going to people's homes and things like that. Is that 2 to 12 still a doable amount a month? 2 to 12,000, a doable amount in this environment?
Yeah. So I knew this business was recession proof. I didn't know it was pandemic proof. So it's very pandemic proof. And people are making more money than they were before. I think for a few reasons. I think some people stopped doing it because they were scared of COVID, which I totally get. And there was an increase in people being home more, and with people buying property and refinancing their properties because of historically low rates. So everything went up for a lot of people.
Love it.
A lot of people. So pandemic, and I tell people, look, don't let me force you out there, but wear your gloves, but make sure the clients have on their mask. You wear your mask. Some people were doing it outside on the roof, on the hood of their cars. So they want to go on the side. Whatever works for you, it works for you. But yes, there's money there in a pandemic. And I missed one of your questions before. You asked, where do they find you? There's a couple of sites that I want your people to know about. One is called notaryrotary.com. notaryrotary.com, notarycafe.com. Those are two very popular websites or directories where clients go to look for mobile notaries in their specific areas where they need the notarization done.
Okay, and the person that is in that role would need to have their information on that site. So when somebody goes there, they'll find them there.
Yep, yep. They'll look
Okay.
you up via zip code, county, or city,
Okay.
and you want to make sure that you have a nice headshot picture and or your logo, a very good bio, your hours of availability, and how they can contact you, and people will find you there.
All right. And you do teach that in your course and through your school as well, right?
That and like 20,000 other things. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We want to make
We
sure
got
that
them
they
covered.
know, like they're going to get a little bit here, but there's a whole, I'm going to have you talk about that when we get to that. So what's
Yeah.
that duration of time that they spend with that client? So now the person has found them on one of these sites or wherever they found them. They need to meet them convenient, meet them where they are. How long are they with that one client?
It depends on what the service is. But if I had to just generalize it, between 15 and 35 minutes. It could be as little as 5 minutes if it's a 1 or 2 pager. So sometimes we notarize wills, power of attorneys, which are some of our more popular documents. Power of attorney, 2 pager. Hey, how are you? They'll ask if you want some water. I always say yes because it helps them feel comfortable.
Yeah.
I'll verify their ID. They'll sign. I'll watch them sign. I'll sign. I'll stamp. That might be 10 minutes, $85, $100, $150, whatever we're charging. Loan closing might be a little bit longer. If you're new, maybe an hour.
Okay.
Once you become seasoned, 20 to 35 minutes. Fingerprinting appointment could be the same thing, about 15 to 45 minutes, depending on how many clients you have at that time. But an hour traditionally is a long appointment. I'm usually
Okay.
10, 20 minutes in and out of that puppy.
Okay, got it. And so is there a certain type of person that's best suited for this type of role, or can anybody, women, men, old, young, what would you say is the most of your clients or most of folks that you've worked with come through your school, what sort of demographic has it been?
Great question. I was trying to figure that out because it's just for a lot of people. People who can keep things simple
Mm,
succeed. So people who are really smart, either either via formal education, they're just used to getting A's and B's. If they got a B, they are upset. Like those people, and people who are smart via their own individual studies, or are used to making things complex, usually don't do well. I tell people when you need to, if that's you, acknowledge it and dumb yourself down a little bit.
okay.
And what I mean is, this is a business that's not hard, also not easy, but you have to master a whole bunch of simple steps.
Okay.
If you master these simple steps, you'll make money. If you overcomplicate these steps that we give you, you won't make money. I have people who are literally who go through the class and then Andre, I'm trying to do this. I'm like, no, you're not doing it. You're making it harder than it has to be. This is not physics. This is not sequential math. This is not even marine biology.
Mm.
This is a business that people need. Follow these steps, you will win. So smart people who don't listen to me, they don't make money. People who listen to us.
I don't understand. When you have the formula, why not just go? If you have given them step by step and you have proven that that works, like, I don't understand why people would veer away from that. So so you talked about the person, right? Like the type of person, smart, don't overcomplicate it. But are there other requirements? Like, is there a test or anything that they would need to take?
Yeah. So probably about 10 to 15 states, there's a test.
Okay.
The test is given sometimes online, sometimes once a month, sometimes once a week, depending on what state you're in. Usually 30, 40 questions max. Some states have a test. Some states is just paperwork. You have to mail in some money, your ID, your proof of residence, and you're in there. So it has a very low barrier of entry. Even the test is the one test. It's not like a whole shebang, or it's not like the LSAT. It's one test and you're in and out that puppy. So very low barrier of entry.
I love it. I love it. So now we've gone in a little bit and I have some more questions for you, but tell us about yourself. Like, why did you start this? And I understand you to be very successful in it. So tell us how you got started. Tell us a little bit about yourself first and then how you got started in this business. And then I'll go with a few more questions.
Cool. So I'm what you call a hardcore entrepreneur. So back in the day in school, I was selling lemonade, selling candy. I just never liked limitations. So for me, even though I had a career per se, I was working with special needs children, which is very rewarding. Didn't pay a lot, but very rewarding work. I It was always a matter of when I could leave the full-time workforce, not if. I
Mm.
was never a career work there 40, 50-year person, not knocking it, but it was never me. So my boy Ricky Salmon, we have mutual friends at the time we became friends, and my other friends who knew us both, they were telling me about what he does. He shows up somewhere, he makes $70, $100 a day for 15, 20 minutes. I was like, what are you talking about? Because at the job,
Sign me
I was making
up.
$100. I was making $100 a day working the job for the whole day. So I
Mm.
was like, okay, like show me what this is. And I already had owned the home. I was pretty young. I was in my early 20s, 22, 23. And so I was already on the track. So I shadowed him. I saw what he did. And I was like, I'm doing this because it was simple. And I could do it after work hours and on weekends. And for me, just real, I have a friend called Mr. Practical. I could show up somewhere and make 45, 50 at that time, even more than that, but like on a low end, 45, $50, $100, hour or less worth of work. I can get someone to pay me $100 or $150. I could have a friend of mine or someone else do the job. I could subcontract them and charge and pay them 50. Client pays me 100. So I can middleman it or be self-employed. So I was like, this makes total sense for my personality and my life.
Yeah.
So that was all I needed.
Yes, love it, love it. So, okay, so now you gotten into this business and you're making this money. You're getting this whatever number per client and or contracting it out. Now it's when did you say, well, I want to teach everybody how to do it? Like not just I want to
Mm,
make the money, but I want to now make money teaching people how to do it. When did it convert to that?
Not till then, a decade or so after I started. So I was teaching friends and individuals, people who I just liked and knew what I was doing. Um, but in 2015, I was in a car accident, so I couldn't really drive to my appointments like that anymore. So I already had the idea. I guess sometimes we need a kick in the butt to take action. Or in this case, I couldn't really move that much for a couple of months. So all I had was my brain. I was like, okay, it's time to put it into action. So 2015, I said, I'm going to start teaching it. A friend of mine, Dr. Boyce Watkins, he started the Black Wealth Boot Camp. And I said, I think I could teach my knowledge on this. He was like, if you start it, I'll help you promote it. I'm like, all right, cool. So we did it. I knew what I was teaching, but I didn't know much about the PowerPoints and all this stuff. I had some friends who helped me out, and we literally put it together week by week by week, and people loved it.
Wow.
I was like, wow, this is really good. And the best compliment I had was I'm able to take things that might be complex and make them simple.
Mm.
So 2015, we've been doing it ever since then. I haven't stopped doing it, haven't taken a break. Here we are 6 years later.
Wow. So, some of the things, so I know you said being a mobile notary and you're teaching people all over. Are there like
Yeah.
so keeping it simple, don't overcomplicate it. I know those are some of the things you said. Some states may require a test. Are there any
Mm.
other tips for somebody that's considering this? Because making $2,000 to $12,000 a month, that's something to consider for somebody. What sort of tips would you give them if they've never done it before? For their local market, or does it vary by market?
We go local market. Or so the formula works wherever you are,
Okay.
right? Here's what might differ. Depending on your location, different services might be more popular than others. So one, I would tell you don't overwhelm yourself too early. So there's a bunch of services you could offer, right? There's the general mobile notarizations, which I call which I put in that realm where you meet with the public, individuals who need the service done, who need the wills, power of attorneys, healthcare proxies, affidavits notarized. at their home or office, right? Then you have the loan closing sector, which is a zone beast where you're technically acting as a signing agent, where you're performing loan closings for people like you who buy property and refinance their properties. Then you have the fingerprinting side, which is my favorite service to offer, where you're performing ink or laser fingerprints for people who need to get their background checked or applying for a job who need fingerprints. Then there's more stuff to do too. So you don't have to focus on every service to make money. For the whole 2 through 12K thing, let's just go with 6 or 7K a month. I know people who only do one sector who make that $6,000 to $7,000 a month. For some people, it's just fingerprinting. For some people, it's just general notarizations. For some people, it's just loan closings. I know some people who run the whole gamut. So it's better if you know who you are. Yes. Be honest about yourself, what you can handle. Some people can only handle one thing. So I tell them, just do one thing. But Andre, I want to do this. I'm like, fam, like you, I don't know if you can handle it. Especially not right now. So let's just go all in on what I got going, on what works for you, and rock out. So I would tell them, don't overwhelm yourself. Pick a service, go all in on that service, and we'll figure out how to scale up if need be later.
Okay. And now I know that you created the school. So talk a little bit about this. You know, do you have a course and there's a school, or is that one and the same?
It's the school, and we have a couple of courses on another platform. So you have the links below. So we have the 2 through 12K club. Okay. That's the whole shebang. Okay. That's everything we got. That's people who want to go all in. I want to do the apostilling, which is when you're legalizing documents for a foreign country, the fingerprinting and everything else. Okay. Gives you everything we got, and bi-weekly coaching, which some people need that. Some people need it. Some people need that kick in the butt. Because they won't take action without it. It's kind of like an accountability group. So that's a great option for people who know they want to go all in on this industry. Then we have our boot camp sector and our notary fundamentals course, which is the basics, the bare bones on how to get started and start making money. So depending on where you're at, different things might work better for different people. If somebody said, yo, I want to start slow, I don't know if this is for me, I would go with our Notary Fundamentals course, which is step by step. That will get you self-employed. That will get your phone ringing. Then you'll see where you want to go from there. We do have a lot of people who start there, then elevate and scale up to the 2 through 12K club later.
I like that. And let me ask, so let's say somebody's never done it before, they get the fundamentals course. How long will it take them before they purchase the course, go through it, and then off and start it? Let's just say, and they follow your timetable. What does that look like? Great
question. Let's say that they're already a notary and they follow those steps. You can start making money if they go. So it's pre-recorded. It's 11 hours of content, notes, quizzes, all that stuff. It's pretty detailed. If you go through it in a week, you can probably start making money in 3 weeks.
Love it.
Most people aren't going to do that. So I would say 4 to 6 weeks. If you do like 2 hours a week, you're making money in 4 to 6 weeks. If you're not yet a notary, some states are having less. It's a longer time to get licensed with everything going on. So let's say it takes you 4 to 6 weeks to get your license. You can start making money within 8 weeks. But I haven't seen anybody take it seriously who hasn't made money within 3 months. Like, that's a long time if you take it seriously.
And you know, that's what I love, is if you take it seriously and you really want to make this money, you have to execute. Like, you've put it all out there for them. So it's how quickly they execute determine how much money they make, or how quickly they get in the club that you're talking about, if they're interested in that. So do you see, do you ever hear of any barriers where folks thought they wanted to, but then realize, and like, do you get any issues with, I thought I could do this, or this is not working the way that I thought, like anything like that? Any cons that people should be cognizant of, I guess is what I'm saying.
Once in a while, so I don't oversell it where this is this. So I haven't used the word passion the whole interview. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but I haven't. Because some people, I consider this, so I have businesses that are more fun than this business, right? They just are. They're more exciting. They're more thought-provoking. This is monotonous. This is simple. It's not very complex. You don't use a lot of your personality. Like I have a podcast too. Like I'm yelling, I'm cursing, I'm excited, I'm high-fiving people. That's not this. Yeah. This is a simple strategic way for you to make money long term. Now, some people do fall absolutely in love with it. They're passionate about it. Me, it fuels my life. It's always worked for me. I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Okay.
But I do have things that I'm more excited about. Some people don't know how to differentiate the two, where they think they have to be overly in love with every source of their income. I actually don't think you need to.
I love that. I love that you said that. Say that one more time. I think people don't get that. Like, first of all, I think people think that different sources mean, 7 jobs versus 7 businesses or 7 revenue streams. I think we should say more than anything. But you do not have to be passionate about every single one that you have.
No. So I have a great life. I'm passionate about my life. My life is like off the chain.
Let's high five. I want a high five.
There we go. Woo! High five. So there's what I call front end passion, where you love what you're doing all the way through, air quotes, all the way through. And there's some things like, this is cool. This is really cool. Yeah. And you make enough money for you to maybe have a stay-home wife, or you're able to have a tutor for your kid in which you're passionate about the tutor and your kids being smarter. But how you got there, it's cool. It's not bad. It's just cool. And people go wrong in life, I think, because I think everything has to be this magical rainbow. Yeah. Some things are going to be, some things aren't going to be. But every time I've been to the beach, I've had a good time. How I've gotten there, it might have wavered on how excited I was to get there, but every time I've been there, I've had a great time. So I do encourage people to know the difference. And look, for me, not having a job is a win. So as long as I don't have to go to work, personal thing, have to work for somebody else, I've already won. Yeah. It might be selling books, it might be mobile notary, whatever. I'm just happy not to be there.
Yeah, understood. So then I know you, like, we've already kind of dabbled in, this is not your only stream of income. So is it real estate is another lane that you operate in? I was going to say play in, but I know you're not playing, you're operating. So,
I am operating to a smaller degree. I operate to a smaller degree, but this is my main thing. I want people to know this is my main thing, and this has been my main thing for 12, 13, 14 years. So yes, I do own some property, not a ton. I own a few properties, and I'm part of an investment group where we own, I think it's like 7 properties in Detroit. We have a vending machine route. And for a lot of those ventures, I'm 5% in, 20% in on each one of those individual things. Okay. And that's important to say, because I'm not a person who has to control everything I do. I don't want to. You said every income stream isn't a job. I'm a firm believer in that. Like, I don't need to run every ship. I'm not that much of a control freak. Yeah. And I started buying property. I got my first property at 22, second at 23 with my aunt and uncle. I have a nice, steady real estate portfolio, which should be growing in the next few years. But that Detroit market, we got into some properties out there for like 10, 12 grand that are now worth like 40, 50 grand. And that Detroit market it has become really strong over the past 3 years. So yeah, I do enjoy some investing, silent investing. The vending machine route that we have, I put money into it. I got the money back, and now it's all straight cash flow. So I do enjoy silent ventures as well.
I love that. I love that. So, I just want to go back to make sure I'm wrapping up Notary. And then let me just ask the question on this. The investment group, is that do you all bring people into that on a regular basis, or it was whoever, started it at the beginning, you all are going through and continuing to make purchases along the way?
Yeah, so the man Todd Capital, who actually made the shirt, Charles Ogilvy, great dude. He started it. I joined it. We closed in new people about 1.5 years ago. I'm not sure if they're going to open it up to new people. So right now it's just our core members. Okay, got it.
Okay, so now Notary, I want to just make sure that we round out the Notary. So one, you can make 2 to 12,000 in a month. So I want to make sure that we reiterate that. 2 to 12 a month. You are the man. Like I follow you on social. You are the man that's making it happen. So if they are interested, there will be in the show notes below. If you're watching us below, and if you're listening to us in the show notes, it'll be there. Follow either of us. You'll find information there as well. So in that course, you have 2 opportunities for them to learn how to do this. Learn the fundamentals, or they can go from the 2 to 12 club, right?
2 to 2. Yeah, fundamentals. If you just want to start, be self-employed, you want to get the ball rolling, get some money coming in, it's the fundamentals course. If you want to go all in on RIP and with the bi-weekly coaching, that's the 2 through 12K club.
2 through 12K club. Okay.
Mhm.
And then if you want to figure out if this is right for you, if you're that that person that overanalyzes everything, make everything complicated, maybe this is not the venture for you. But if you're gonna take what he's giving you, somebody that's been in the game for a long time, and do that, execute upon it, it can happen for you, correct?
Perfectly put.
All right. And then you do want to understand your state, what the requirements are. Some states there is an application, some states you can do online, some states there's paperwork. So you want to understand that. I don't know if you have anything else to add regarding the application process that you want to add here.
One barrier of entry, some of our brothers and sisters might have lived a past life, or an accident might have happened, and they might have a criminal record. If you have a criminal record, I would still encourage you to apply for your license anyway. I have seen people get their license with a record. It does depend on the crime and how old it is. You might need a letter of good conduct. But even if you're denied, you cannot get your license. You can still own the business. You just have to have people work for you who are licensed. So you're just the head guy or the gal, and you subcontract out other licensed notaries. So I want that to be said as well.
That's a really great point. So again, just for point of reiteration, if you find you apply and you get denied, so you can't be, you're not the one that's going out and meeting people and having these 5 to 15 to 35-minute appointments. You're the person who's sending people out. So you can still make money in this business. So I'm telling you, you want to hook up with this guy and get his course, because no matter your situation, there is no excuse. And that's why I was so ecstatic about having you on, because I want the purpose of the money exchange is bringing forth people like you to share. There are so many different ways for so many different types of people that you can earn money nowadays. Like there is no traditional way, right? There's so many different ways, and most importantly, so many different people to show you how. And I love that. I love what you're doing. I think the other thing I wanted to mention here, I'm just looking at the questions that I had. Yeah. Oh, fees. Are there any fees other than the course if they take your course to get started? Like, there's the application fee or anything else?
Yeah, so it usually comes to under $500, but there are fees. The state fees to take the test or to get your license, then to get your commission. In some states, there's an extra fee. But to get started bare bones on a shoestring budget, you could usually get in the game for under $250.
Okay. So this is make the investment. This is an investment of 250, and the course to get you started to your 2K to 12K months. I think is worth it. I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
So if you had to say something to those that are listening or watching, what would you have to say about the businesses that you've shared?
Yeah, I would say don't wait until you need money to learn how to make money.
Ooh, dude, I love you.
I love you too.
I want you to say that again, because I think, I'm sorry, I told you this one may go off a topic depending on what's said. I think that's a problem with a lot of folks is I'm in need right now, so I'm trying to hurry up and figure out how to do something, and they want to get it fast. Oh my gosh, that is golden. Those are golden words you just said. If you could restate it the way you just said it, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Don't wait till you need money to start to learn how to make money. So you might be cool now, things might be cool, but life could change quickly. Things can change quickly. Get a needed skill. And this is what I have. I know other people who are becoming home inspectors, which is another very needed profession. Home appraiser, a very needed one, but this is what I know. So get in the game, learn it. Even if you don't implement it right away, get it under your belt. Yes. Get it under your belt and learn it. Now, you might say, well, I don't want to do that. I want to do something else. I want to be an artist. Artists are cool people. I have a lot of artist students. Art takes time. Art is fun. It's exciting. But there's nothing wrong with earning an extra, let's just roughly say, I can't guarantee that you'll make this the first week or so, but I've seen a lot of people do it, or earn an extra $500 a week while you're working on your other stuff.
Okay.
An extra $1,000 a week while you're figuring out your other stuff. So get in the game. If you need some money or want to earn some extra money, I've been getting paid from this since I'm 39 as of 2 weeks ago. I've been making money from this since I was 24. That's a long time.
Wow. Happy belated birthday, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And you know, the other thing you said earlier, you could be the one going out or you can own the business, you know, right? And then the other thing is, you know, what I love about being an entrepreneur is you take on the clients you want and the ones you don't want, you don't take, right? So you have full autonomy on how much time you want to spend. If you want to earn more, you go to more appointments or you send more people out, right?
Bingo. So as we're here now, I have a friend who's doing a job for me, for my company. I'm teaching my partner, the wonderful woman I'm with, the business as well. So he's doing a job for 150. The client paid us 300. We split the profit difference. So she got 75, I got 75. He's literally going to be doing the job. He's literally on the way there as me and you are conducting this podcast interview right now.
I love it.
Just to show the versatility of this business. And we were already paid yesterday.
Love it. Okay, so I think my husband is going to listen to this episode. So say one more time, you guys split the profit that you get. Is that what you all?
We split the profits. We did. We split the profit.
I'm going to make sure I'm going to slide this link text this link. I love that. So yeah, so you know, you are like, I just love how you just laid out the gems for us today. I love how you showed you can actually be in there and grind and do it yourself, or you can create it where you have others working and doing that, and you're making money right off the top. And to your point, before the service is even
already paid.
You already got your, what do I call that? You already got, what did I say yesterday to somebody? Well, anyway, that payment has already come in. So that check is going to get in the mail. I love that already. But I know it's not a physical check, but okay, so you've dropped some gems. You told them about the notary. Other businesses that you talked about. You said real estate. Is there anything else you're dabbling in that you want to just add in here? Because folks want to follow you. They probably want to know as much as I wanted to know about you before I met you here today.
Yeah, those are my main things. I have a couple of self-published books. One's called The Top 10 Habits of Underachievers, which is a really good book. I write good to the point short books. So I wrote it because a lot of people who aren't getting ahead have the same common issues. And by underachieving, I don't mean by your standards or my standards. I mean by your own personal standards for your life. You aren't hitting the mark. So I put it in a short book, The Top 10 Habits of Underachievers. That's another one of my revenue streams. And though everything I just named is keeping busy enough for the next year. So I'll figure out the rest later on. Yeah,
I love it. You have enough, and that's the other thing, right? Those things make money so that you can live your best life, right? Isn't that what it's all about?
Yeah, that's working for me.
I love it. So, Andre, thank you so much for being on the Money Exchange. And to those of you that are watching or listening, I appreciate you for always making this show one that you put in your ear or put in front of you to watch. Also, the in the show notes will be the course that he talked about here today, where you get the fundamentals, or you could do the 2 to K. I'm not going to say it right again. 2 to
12K club.
2 to 12K club. So that's, you want to get the nitty gritty and the coaching. You want to take that one. And then obviously, as the It's My Money Lady, my link will be below so that you can grab the course to learn how to manage this money that you're about to make from Mr. Andre's course. So you want to make sure you check that out. So thank you again for rocking with me. I appreciate you, and have a wonderful day.
Thanks.